Good morning and Jai Hind children. This is the third and the last video that we are going to discuss about subject and predicate. The first video was about the explanation wherein I explained all the rules to you. The second video was practice sentences and this video is about discussing the answers of the book exercises. Alright. So the first exercise is exercise A on page number 6. Exercise A is to be done in the book itself. You don't have to do it in your notebook. Do it in the book with a pen. Okay. You have to identify the subject in all of these sentences. First one is already done for you. It is an example sentence. The sentence is the little prince walked to the door and you have to identify the sentence. So who are we talking about in the sentence? Yes, we're talking about the little prince. So the little prince is the subject. So it is underlined in the book. Alright. We'll move on to number 2. The sentence is study seriously. So study seriously, somebody is commanding someone to study seriously. If it is a command, it is an imperative sentence. And I told you that in imperative sentences, it is not necessary that the subject will be written in the sentence. In the sentence which is given in your book, you can see subject is not written, and whenever subject is not written, you have to understand by yourself that subject is going to be you. I had explained this to you in the first video, in the explanation video for imperative sentences. There is a different rule. If the subject is not written in the sentence, you have to understand by yourself that the subject is you and you will write it in a bracket just beside the sentence. So when you do your exercise in the book with the pen, you are going to write you in the same way as I have written over here in the slide. Okay. Next sentence is the young painter from the district is very talented. So who are we talking about? We're talking about the young painter from the district. So here when you identify the subject, it's going to be the young painter from the district. If you remember, I told you in the previous video that the predicate starts with a helping verb or a main verb. So over here helping verb is very talented. So is the helping verb. So that is the predicate. Remaining the beginning part of the sentence, the young painter from the district is the subject. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. We are going to move on to number 4. Anya and her dog run on the beach every morning. So who are we talking about? We're talking about Anya and her dog. And what are we saying about them? We are saying that Anya and her dog run on the beach every morning. So subject is Anya and her dog. Okay, and as I just told you in the previous sentence as well, that predicate starts with either a helping verb or a main verb. In the last sentence, predicate was starting with a helping verb. If you see this sentence, predicate starts with run. Run is a main verb. Did you understand? It can start with a helping verb or a main verb. Last sentence it was helping verb. This sentence it is main verb. Okay? And everything before it is the subject. We'll move on to the next sentence. The next sentence is obey your teacher. Again, this is an order or a command. Whenever you have a command, it is an imperative sentence. As I told you before, imperative sentences, it is not necessary that subject will be written. If it is not written, you have to understand by yourself that subject is you. And that is how you will write in a bracket just beside the sentence. This is how you're going to write it in the book as well. Exactly like this, okay? Next one. The guilty should be punished. Okay, so the guilty means anybody who has done some crime, who is guilty of doing some crime, doing some wrong thing. Okay, like maybe stealing or hurting somebody, doing anything wrong, harming some person is something wrong. Okay, so if somebody is guilty, the person should be punished. Okay, so the guilty is the subject. Who should be punished? The guilty. Okay. Down fell the apples from the tree. Okay, so this is a different kind of a sentence. It says, down fell the apples. What are we talking about? What is the main thing of the sentence? Think about it. What is more important? Is it apples or is it tree? It is apples. Very good. And I told you in the previous video that the focus of the sentence, whatever is the most important thing in the sentence, is the subject. So since apples is the most important thing, Subject is going to be the apples. Down fell what? The apples. The apples fell from the tree. So this is just a different way of writing your sentence. I also told this to you in the explanation video. In some cases, subject might not come in the beginning. It can come in the middle of the sentence or at the end of the sentence as well. In this sentence, subject comes in the middle of the sentence. Okay. So whenever you get such sentences, it is a good practice that you ask yourself that what is the most important thing in this sentence. Whatever is the most important thing is your subject. Okay, so next question, it is an interrogative sentence. Do you take me for an idiot? Okay, so do you take me for an idiot means somebody is asking, do you think I'm an idiot? Do you think I'm a fool? Okay, so for interrogative sentences, go back to the rules that was taught to you. I told you that in interrogative sentence, subject does not come in the beginning. Subject comes between the helping verb and the main verb. So my helping verb is do and my main verb is take over here. So do is the helping verb, take is the main verb. In between the helping verb and the main verb, you have the subject, which is you. Clear? So you just underline you, one single word. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. We'll move on to number 9. The sentence is, the scientist was always absorbed in his work. So what does absorbed in his work mean? Okay, absorbed in his work means that he is always engrossed, he's always busy in his work. He does nothing but he is always busy. He loves to do his work all the time. Okay, so absorbed in his work means busy in your work all the time. So the scientist was always absorbed in his work. We are talking about very easy sentence. We're talking about the scientist. So the scientist is the subject. What are we saying about the scientist? That he was always absorbed in his work. So that is the predicate. Again, just go back to the rule I taught you. Predicate starts with a helping verb or a main verb. Over here, predicate is starting with the helping verb was. Okay. Last sentence for exercise A. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Okay. So what is the most important thing? It's the quick brown fox. So quick brown fox is my subject. And what did the fox do? Jumped over the lazy dog. That's the predicate. You don't have to do anything about the predicate in this exercise. Just underline the subject. So the way I have done in my slides over here, this is the exact way that you're going to do it in your book. Okay, we're going to underline in the same way. For the imperative sentences, you're going to write you in the bracket in the same way. Okay, I've taken this exactly from your book so that it is easy for all of you to understand and do your book exercises at the same time. Let's move on to exercise B. Exercise B is a fill in the blanks activity. You have to provide meaningful subjects for these predicates. Okay, so these blanks, there is no one single correct answer. There can be many different appropriate words which you can write over here. This is, since I've already given this for homework, so you might be having your own answers. I'm going to discuss the answers over here. If you don't know some answer, if you don't know how to answer some of the blanks, you can copy my answer. Okay. So the first one is dash have fallen ill after the function. I've written the students have fallen ill after the function. So we are assuming that there was a function which the students attended. So the students is going to be the subject. Next one, dash will be late for school. Let's write the name of any of your friends. So I've written Rohit. Rohit will be late for school. Okay. You can also write I will be late for school, the bus will be late for school, or you can write my friend will be late for school, anything. Okay. This is open-ended. You can think about appropriate answers. You can fill in the blanks with your own answers as well. No problem. I'm just giving you a guide of how to do it. Okay. Next, so it's dash roamed the jungle in search of food. I have written the tiger roamed the jungle in search of food. You can also write the lion, the deer, anything. Okay. Next, dash walked into the room casually. So I have written a girl's name, Susan. Susan walked into the room casually. You can write anybody else's name. You can write your name. You can write I walked into the room. You can write they walked into the room. You can also write the child walked into the room. Anything is correct. Next, dash will be held at 5 in the evening. The meeting will be held at 5 in the evening. Okay, you can also write the party will be held at 5 in the evening. That's also going to be correct. Dash gave me a book. I have written the name of a girl called Seema. Seema gave me a book. You can write the librarian gave me a book. The teacher gave me a book. My friend gave me a book. Or my parents gave me a book. Anything. Okay. Next. Dash play hockey every morning. I've written the children play hockey every morning. Again, if you have some other word that you want to write, you can write that as well. Next, number 8, Dash gave a rose to his mother. The child gave a rose to his mother. You can also write the name of any child if you want. That's going to be correct as well. Dash sang melodiously during the show. The choir sang melodiously. So choir means a group of singers singing together. The choir sang melodiously during the show. You can write the singer sang melodiously or the child sang melodiously. Everything is correct. Okay. Dash love cricket. I have written Indians love cricket. So Indians love to watch cricket. That's why I have written Indians love cricket. This completes exercise B for us. Let's move on to. So exercise B is also to be done in the book. Write the answers in the book with a pen. Fill in the blanks. No, you don't have to do it in the copy. Just do it in the book. Okay. This is on page number 7 of your book. Exercise C, this is the last exercise. So this exercise you have to do in your notebook. Exercise C is notebook work, it is not book work. Okay. Again, if you have your new notebook, you can do this in English 1 notebook under the topic, subject and predicate. Those of you who do not have new notebooks till now, just complete this in your rough notebook. We will do it later whenever the lockdown gets lifted. Okay. So this is on page number 7. What do you have to do here? Let's read the question. Identify the subjects in this paragraph and use them to make sentences of your own. One has been done for you. So over here a paragraph is written. You have to first identify all the subjects, and then when you're done identifying the subjects, make single sentences with each of the subject. Okay. So my neighbor was robbed by someone last night. The first subject is already identified, so it's my neighbor. It's already written at the bottom. Second subject is all the valuables were stolen. What were stolen? All the valuables. So that's the second subject. The window panes were found broken. What were found broken? The window panes. So that's the subject again. The front door was left open. Okay, what are we talking about? The front door. That is the subject. My neighbor discovered the theft in the morning. Who discovered the theft? My neighbor. That is the subject. The police was called. Who was called? The police. The investigation began. So what began? Investigation began. What are we talking about? What is the most important thing? It is the investigation. So that is the subject again. A few boys from the neighborhood were detained. So it is a few boys from the neighborhood. Full thing. Were detained. See, were is the helping verb. From where the helping verb starts, that is the starting of the predicate. So everything before that is your subject. So this is how you're going to underline all the subject in the book. Underlining you can do in the book. You don't have to copy this paragraph in the notebook. Okay, be very clear. I don't want you to copy this paragraph in the notebook. Just underline in the textbook itself. Making the sentences is something that you have to do in your notebook. Okay, so you all are going to frame your own sentences. See, the first one is given over here to you as an example. So the subject is my neighbor. Sentence is my neighbor invited me to his birthday. You can make different sentences like my neighbor offered me sweets. My neighbor plays with me in the evening. Anything. Okay. Make your own sentences. Do not stick to the example sentence. So you're going to make all the sentences on your own. I am not going to discuss that. There is just one small example over here of all the sentences. I'm going to read that out to you. All the valuables in the house are kept in the safe. The window panes are made of frosted glass. I opened the front door to let in the guests. So here the front door, see, that is the subject. It has been used in the middle of the sentence. You can do that, or you can simply put it in the beginning to make your work easy. Both way is correct. The police were able to arrest the thieves. The investigation of the robbery has been going on for months. A few boys from the neighborhood play carom every day. So this is just an example. I want you all to frame your own sentences. Only if you get stuck, you can refer to these example sentences. This completes our video for subject and predicate. So there are 3 videos in all. First is explanation, second video is for practice, third video is for answers to book exercises. If you have successfully completed all the videos, you are thoroughly done with the chapter subject and predicate. Thank you.